In the headlines, reaction trailed President Muhammadu Buhari's indefinite postponement of 2023 census. Resident doctors give federal government 2-week ultimatum over pending agreements. Lagos residents travelers groan as gridlock worsens. And on the foreign scene, suspected terrorists kill 33 soldiers in Burkina Faso attack. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Nten Ekman. And on the news in full, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the postponement of the 2023 population and housing census, earlier scheduled for the 3rd to 7th of May 2023. The president gave the approval after meeting on Friday with some members of the Federal Executive Council and the chairman of the National Population Commission and his team at the presidential villa in Abuja. A new date for the census is to be determined by the incoming administration, but the meeting stressed the need for the conduct of the exercise to collate and collect up-to-date data that will drive the developmental goals of the country and improve the living standards of the Nigerian people. The president noted that with the completion of enumeration area demarcation of the country, conduct of first and second tests, the recruitment and training of ad hoc workers, procurement of personal digital assistant PDAs and ICT infrastructure, appreciable progress has been made in the implementation of the 2023 population and housing census. He also commended the methodology being put in place by the Commission to conduct accurate and reliable census, especially the massive deployment of technology that is capable of delivering world-class census and laying a sustainable basis for future censuses. And still on census, Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State has lauded President Muhammadu Buhari for directing that the 2023 national population census be postponed. This is contained in a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Teve Alkase, on Saturday in Makurdi. Ortom had on April 13 called on the federal government to postpone the planned census until adequate security was guaranteed in the country. The governor specifically stated that conducting the census will amount to injustice and deprivation of millions of Nigerians who have been displaced from their ancestral homes and are living in internally displaced camps in the state and other parts of the country. He further stated that he understood from the National Population Commission that those to be counted must be counted in their localities. He said that with the postponement of the census now approved by Buhari, the federal government should ensure that Nigerians whose communities had been taken over by bandits and armed herders regain their lands and return home. Away from census, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has given the federal government 2 weeks to increase the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure, CONMES. The association made this known on Saturday in a communique issued at the end of the extraordinary council meeting of the National Executive Council NEC held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The communique, which was made available to newsmen, was signed by the President Innocent Orji, Secretary General Kelechi Chikezie, and the Publicity and Social Secretary Musa Uma. He said the increment should be to the tune of 200% of the current gross salary of doctors and also be in addition to the new allowance included in the letter written to the Minister of Health in 2022 for the review of CONMES. According to the association, it observed that in spite of several engagements with the federal government on the need to upwardly review CONMES, which was last reviewed over 10 years ago, there are no changes. It added that the previous collective bargaining agreement CBA on CONMES stated clearly that the salary structure would be due for review after 5 years, but this has not been done since the implementation in 2014, though the approval was given in 2009. The Nigerian Labour Congress, the NLC, says the National May Day celebration in Abuja will be held on the streets to enable the Congress to deepen its reconnection with the people. The General Secretary of the Congress, Emmanuel Ogboaja, said this in a statement he signed on Saturday in Abuja with the title National May Day Celebration in Abuja, Change of Venue. Ajaito said that the takeoff point shall be at the national headquarters of the Nigerian Labour Congress by 8 a.m. He added that all affiliate unions had to assemble on the grounds of the Pascal Bafiu Labour House on Monday, the 1st of May, from where they shall proceed on a rally around Abuja. He, however, assured workers of the NLC's continued commitment to traditions and values of the Nigerian worker. The Jigawa State High Court has sentenced 4 men to death by hanging and 1 other to life imprisonment for alleged culpable homicide. The court, presided over by Justice Ahmed Muhammad Abubakar, found Salahu Yeu, Aminu Salamanu Shafiu, and Yusuf Saleh guilty of culpable homicide and sentenced them to death by hanging. The men were also found guilty of other charges, including criminal conspiracy, criminal trespass, and unlawful assembly and were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 2 years to 3 months or made to pay fines. According to the prosecution, the defendants from Kalawa Village, Ringim local government area of Jigawa State were responsible for the murder of an individual. Delivering the sentence, the judge stated that the prosecution had successfully proven the case beyond reasonable doubt. The Oyo State Police Command has paraded an 18-year-old for allegedly killing his father while the father was asleep. The boy was paraded alongside other suspected criminals for other offenses at the command headquarters in Eleyele in Ibadan. The report.
In his efforts towards ensuring a relatively peaceful environment devoid of criminal acts, the Oyo State Police Command has arrested and will be prosecuting these suspected criminal syndicates for various crimes. One of them is this 18-year-old who was arrested alongside his mother for taking the life of his father while sleeping. The police revealed that the suspect struck his father with an iron rod where he was sleeping, leaving him with a serious injury on his forehead.
Preliminary investigations revealed that on the 21st of April 2023, at about 23:00 hours, which is 11 p.m., the suspect, Adiago Ismail, struck his late father on the head with an iron rod when he was sleeping, and that led to his death.
What a life.
The boy who confessed to the crime revealed that although his mother always suffered domestic violence in the hands of his father, he never committed the crime as a revenge for his mother's ordeal.
It is not that I did it to support my mother. Sometimes when they are fighting, as kids, we don't support anyone. My mother usually reports to me, but I never say anything.
I've been married to my husband for more than 30 years now. Anytime he beats me, I don't do anything. My entire body is full of bruises. In the same vein, the police also paraded other suspects for various crimes like armed robbers who specialize in hijacking and diversion of trailers loaded with valuable items. Others were paraded for kidnapping, conspiracy, and impersonation.
Oni of Ife has been razed by fire. The fire was attributed to power surge. Hamidu Yegbade reports that the building apartment within the courtyard of the palace was gutted by fire at about 11:30 p.m. on Friday. Residents said the fire started after an explosion through electrical appliances in the affected apartment. The fire was put out through the combined efforts of the fire service, palace aides, and indigents. The palace spokesman, Otumba Moses Olafare, who confirmed the incident, said the situation has been brought under control. Residents of Lagos State on Saturday decried the serious hardship occasioned by the heavy traffic along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and other parts of Lagos. Those traveling to Lagos and those returning from Lagos also lamented that they went through difficulties and wasted several man-hours during their journeys. Hamidu Yegbade has a report.
Ordinarily, Lagosians are not strangers to traffic jams. However, their experience in the past few days has become a little unbearable for them. The traffic was grounded to a halt, with many left groaning.
Seriously, this traffic issue is so killing. Let's take for instance now. Yesterday I was supposed to be at home with my family, but because of this traffic, I had to park somewhere just to spend the night. And this morning, hoping that the road would have been free for me to go home, but still, I'm still inside the same traffic I tried to skip yesterday. But seriously, I don't know.
Now they are diverting the road to one lane. People that are coming from Yanoworo, then people are coming from Korodu Road. All of us are going to Bad Expressway. Some people are spending a day. Some people are spending 8 hours, 7 hours. That's how you are spending here. Then it's not supposed to be like that.
Am I going to Korodu? So the bus I bought, I pay 400 at Toyota. At the end of the day, I drop at the Maryland. I have to take from Maryland to Ikiti now.
The traffic affected Third Mainland Bridge to Ogudu, Oshodi to Ikeja, Beja to Ikeja, and Maryland to Ojota, as well as Charlie Boy connecting Ikorodu Road and Ibeju to Abraham Adesanya. Other affected areas include Agidingbi, Isheri, and Adeniyi Jones area. The residents said the traffic jam is as a result of the ongoing road rehabilitation and appealed to the construction company handling the project to expedite the work.
This issue is from what's it called? This Beggar Road. But I don't think this issue is supposed to be like this for as long as this, because they say they are fixing road. They fix road when people are supposed to go to work and all that. It's not supposed to be like that. Seriously, they should please help us with these stuff. They should do the right thing at the right time. At least all these people can work during the night while people are asleep. It's not when people are moving from here to there they have to fix road.
Maybe they could have been working the night, which would be more preferable. Because we are avoiding hold up. But we know that this construction they are doing cause the problem.
This hold up in Lagos has persisted since the day before yesterday. I want to call upon the Lagos State government to do everything necessary to fix the bad roads in Lagos, especially the road along Baja into Lagos. Given the busy nature of Lagos roads, the residents urged the Federal Ministry of Work and Lagos State government to work together to provide alternative routes to the roads under rehabilitation. Amit Oyegbade, Trust TV News.
You're watching News Update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break, we take a look at the business of tie and dye. These and more when we come back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news update on Trust TV, a recap of our major stories. Reaction trailed President Muhammadu Buhari's indefinite postponement of 2023 census. And resident doctors give federal government 2-week ultimatum over pending agreements. Moving on to other stories, now people of Azare Kasago local government area of Bauchi State have identified blockage of waterways as a major problem that needs to be addressed as part of early preparations to mitigate flooding and avert the 2022 devastating effect. They expressed their concerns to Trust TV while reacting to the early commencement of the wet season. Adamu Imam reports.
In 2022, Bauchi community suffered the devastating impact of flooding as a result of excessive rainfalls and thunderstorm. Although Azare town is not among the worst hit areas by flooding last year, however, 29 people were reported killed, while 4,500 farmlands and 8,457 houses were submerged by water, according to the State Emergency Management Agency. People of the area are concerned about the indiscriminate dumping of refuse on the waterways, as this can lead to flooding with devastating effects. This is a big problem here during rainy season. We experience a lot of challenges. Even small children die here inside the waterways. It also attracts mosquitoes inside our shops. We usually go home. When we come back tomorrow, we discover fresh refuse dumped inside. I think people are the cause of this problem. I think clearing of environment is everybody's business. We are the neighbors of these problems. The shop owners should contribute by clearing regularly so that we avoid possible flood disaster here, since there are signals of excessive rainfall this year. Meanwhile, Saadu Musa and Musa Bello has a contrary view. They believe that government has the responsibility of arresting the situation through enforcement. Government can make a lot of impact in mitigating the problems at the local level by encouraging people with tools, especially those living in the flood-prone areas, to ensure all measures are put in place by calling people's attention periodically on the danger ahead. To me, the authority has a huge responsibility. If there are issues affecting the society, they know how to approach it holistically, particularly this problem of dumping refuse inside waterways. Recently, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency warned many communities to expect heavy rainfall and prepare for possible flooding during the 2023 rainy season. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, tie and dye business is an age-long craft that was predominant in the southwest area of Nigeria. The craft, which seems to have been abandoned, is now finding its way back to the society through the hands of young people. Let's find out one of those people who's bringing back tie and dye business.
Adire, popularly known as tie and dye, is quite common among West Africa countries, and in Nigeria, it is mostly common among the Southwesterners. Some Nigerian youths have taken to it as an entrepreneurship skill for business.
I didn't have the skill myself. I was only a fashion model. But then after I won, I was the second runner-up. I was not the main queen. However, since I had told myself that it's something I wanted to work on, after 4 months of my win, I actually proceeded to start training people on how to make Ankara crafts and all of that. But for some reasons, I had to, of course, pause again, because finances is always a very, very important part of any project that one wants to do. So what I did was I went to learn how to do a craft. Of course, since I am big on culture and creativity, I decided to choose Adire, which is indigenous, and I went for that. And after a while, I started training people, and then business was just it for me, because of course with business you can share your value and make money in return. That was really how I started.
Just like in every business, there are challenges. The tie and dye business is not left out. Doimola spoke on some of the challenges she faces in the business.
And you know how I see challenges, I'm really excited that I was not asked this particular question. in this way. So what are the problems that you face? Because many times I'm like, no, they're not problems, so to speak. They're really just things that would help push you up. And some of the challenges, of course, as a creative person, you want to be so big on, okay, let me use these colors, let me do this Adire design, let me, just explore creativity. But many times it's not about the business. Imagine how I even started. It was not about business for me. So I had to struggle with balancing how I make money, how I use this business to make money, than how I focus on the creativity aspect. But of course, that's not what I'm facing right now. I think in the early days, in the second year, I was more of, okay, let me do this to get this to this person. But it was not so much about business. So, low sales, but still fair.
Our continuous dedication and commitment to African renaissance is no doubt commendable and worthy of emulation.
One of the organizers for the evacuation of Nigerians in Sudan, Hamid Al-Hassan, has said that 29 more buses have been provided to take people from Khartoum to Cairo in Egypt. Hamid disclosed this in a video he posted on his Facebook while appreciating the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. According to Hamid, after speaking with the DG of NEMA, he came in person to Khartoum and has made arrangements to help people evacuate Sudan.
He's a very, very good man, very hardworking, and really worked very hard to make sure that things actually went through. He, like we advised him, he worked with the Embassy of Nigeria in Cairo, and they secured the buses there. And the buses are now here in Khartoum. 29 buses in total. We're still counting. Yes, we have most of them here at the International University of Africa as the main point of evacuation, and we also have the secondary points of evacuation in other universities, about 2 points of evacuation. Here is the main point of evacuation.
Impressive there. Now staying on international stories, now an attack by suspected terrorists killed 33 soldiers in eastern Burkina Faso on Thursday, the army said. A contingent of troops came across a complex, large-scale attack in the East region, which also left 12 soldiers wounded, according to an army statement. The soldiers neutralized at least 40 terrorists before the arrival of reinforcements during the particular intense fighting, it added. The wounded troops have been evacuated and are being treated by the health services, the army said. Burkina Faso has been grappling with a bloody insurgency since 2015 when unrest spilled over from neighboring Mali. Fighting between the security forces and groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group has left thousands dead and forced millions of people to flee their homes. And finally, in sports, no fewer than 32 foreign elite runners from Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda and Bahrain participated in the Made in Abuja International Marathon, which took place Saturday. According to the organizers at the World Press Conference on Friday heralding the event, the winners of the male and female categories of the full 42.195 kilometer marathon were smiled home with $55,000 respectively. Kenyan athlete Emmanuel Naibet won the elite race of the Abuja International Marathon, leading 3 other Kenyans in emerging among the top 3 finishers in the male and female categories. Naibet breasted the tape after 2 hours 13 minutes 45 seconds to win the race over 42.19 kilometers involving international athletes. His compatriot Bernard Sang came in second, with Ezekiel Koek Keprop arriving 2 seconds later to finish third. In the women's race, Kenyan-born Ruth Jebet of Bahrain was the winner after a time of 2 hours 36 minutes 8 seconds, beating Kenya's Mercy Kwembai, who clocked 2 hours 38 minutes 17 seconds, while Ethiopia's Dida Nagasa finished third at a time of 2 hours 40 minutes 16 seconds. The race, which started at City Gate and ended at the car park behind the Eagle Square, was in 3 categories, namely the full marathon of 42.195 kilometers, the 10-kilometer family race, and the 5 kilometer for students. The Abuja International Marathon, the first of its kind in the FCT, is an initiative of Unicentral Resources Generation Limited and the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority, the FCTA. And with the story, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust Television. For more, do follow us across all our social media platforms. Many thanks for watching. I am Nten Ekpang. Bye-bye.